Tricia. Today I was looking through some of my stash and I need some lighter gel prints, light colors, not very busy, primarily for background use. So I'm going to try to work in some light pale colors and just maybe tone on tone, that kind of thing. So then after I finish that, I'm gonna take photographs and upload them onto my iPad, and I want to see if I can make maybe a soft floral design or something. Anyway, I will get started and I'll see you after the process. Okay, so now that I have some of the backgrounds done, I'm going to let all of these dry, and then I'm going to come back and do some monochrome stamping on them with metallics and lighter colored paints, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, y'all, I have finished these first layers on these prints, and I've kind of divided them into warm colors and cool colors. I'm just going to start with one group and go through each one and kind of just make just stamp on here in a monochromatic tone, just so that I can have these for backgrounds, but I want a little interest in them. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to get started, and I'll see you at the end of it. Okay, so that's this group of them, and I'm going to go ahead and do the warmer colors, and then I'm going to photograph all of them, and then I'm going to show you how I guess, prepare them on my iPad for use in the digital art, and then we'll do a project. I'm going to be finishing up the warmer colors in a little while. I have to give my back a chance to rest. So I will just go ahead and do that, and we'll be back. Thanks. All right, y'all, we are back, and we're going to take the papers that I photographed and added to my iPad, and I created this little project here. And for this subject, I'm using some of my clay figures that I've made. Mine either look like owls or Easter Island people. I don't know why, but anyway, they have this little magnet closure, and I photographed these little guys, and I like to use them because they're weird and I'm weird and I just like them. So we're going to use this, and all of this is all the Gelli Prints that we did. These aren't my notes, so that I can get this started for y'all. I'm going to use Art Studio Pro, or actually what I should do is show you how I manipulate the images. I use an app called Snapseed. This particular app is free. It's made by Google, and it's really good. If you know, it does lots of adjustments, and I usually will tweak these in Snapseed, and I don't know why my Snapseed's not working. So we're gonna go into this app. I'm gonna open from my device, and I have the papers that we did. Oh no, that's the one that's altered. All right, so here's the original photograph of the image that we're going to use. And I'm not kidding when I tell you that I don't take good pictures, because I really don't. But one of the first things I'm going to do is hit this middle little pencil and go up under crop, because I'm going to crop this. And as I crop this, I'm going to also check and see if I need to change the perspective. And I don't. So we're going to do that. Now I'm going to rotate it. There's a rotate button. All right, and if you want to do some minor tuning, you can tune your image, and it'll say adjust, and you just move your finger across to, and you can just tap in the middle here, and you can do your contrast. I am going to boost the saturation. Play with the ambiance. Let's see, do I need to do anything with the shadows? There we go. And then I may cool it down just a smidge. So this is how I usually prepare all my gel prints, is in this app called Snapseed. It's pretty easy. If I have to do any selections, I'll use another app, but just to quickly crop and get your photos ready, I tend to use this app a lot, and I'll link these apps and the stuff I use below, because it's this is just part of my workflow. Now when you do go to save this, if you hit save, you're going to overwrite your original image, and I never want to do that. So I am going to save a copy, and it will save that out to your camera roll, and then you can go on with your image. And we're going to do a selection here. I'm wearing my little glove because I have to put my hand on my iPad. And sometimes when you do that in any app, it goes berserk. And yeah, you won't like the results. So I'm going to go into Art Studio Pro, and I'm currently using the beta version. I'm a beta tester for this app. and they have some things that they've worked on, they've tweaked. They're always making new updates, and they test it out by sending it out. And the nice thing about that is because Art Studio Pro saves all of your files to your iCloud, this is what my original Art Studio Pro looks like. These are all the images that I have in my gallery here. So I have a picture of the dolls that I have selected out the background, and I like to use apps for this because I am lazy and I don't like to work very hard. But unfortunately for this particular photo, I had to just do things the hard way. So I'm going to actually show you the hard way. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my doll image right here. And this is the original image, complete with my wall texture. Took it on my mantle of these 3 dolls. I don't currently have these 3 dolls in my possession anymore. I did sell these 3. Kind of wish I didn't, but I took a lot of photos of them before I did. So because I want to erase the background and then save out the transparent image, I am just going to use the eraser tool. I mean, I could use this lasso selection tool and, and select out this big area here, and I could cut it out like that. But that's not going to get inside this part here. And the magic wand works by selecting a pixel, and when you set your tolerance, let's set my tolerance to, say, I don't know, 15, which is a little bit low. It means that if I choose this black pixel here, it's going to pick up every pixel that's within 15% of the shade range of that. So it'll pick up other pixels outside of that 1 pixel that I tapped on when I hit this. And the problem with that is, if you pull in, you can see that it's getting some of your image in here. So that doesn't work very well, especially in these lighter regions where when you select and you keep selecting these pixels, because this color right here on the edge is so close to the background, there isn't a good way to select that without having to go back in and do a bunch of repair work. So for me, I am just going to pick my eraser tool, and I'm going to settle in and do this the hard way, which is taking your eraser, and you can change your brush size over here so you can, you can kind of whiz through some of this pretty quickly. And then you can go in, and this is why I have my little sleeve on, is because I'm going to be going in here. I'm going to drop my brush size pretty low because I'm going to go around my image here. And I'm not going to get it perfect the first time. I'm going to have to go back and tweak, and this is tedious. I sort of call this part of my workflow. What happened here? Oh, I must have done something with my hand. I'm telling you. But you get the idea of what we're doing here. Typically, I'll go around the outline of an area, and then I'll raise my brush and just kind of get this part here. And while it's on this white background, this is not my favorite. I only do this on the white background when there's a big dark area that I'm having to be careful about selecting, like right around in here. Typically what I will do is just turn off the background, And then you can see all of your imperfections where you've not gotten things as selected as you should have. So I want to be very careful about doing this because I only want to do this once. If I have to do this, I'm going to make a decent enough selection that I don't have to do this again. Now this dark area over here, I need to turn this back on so that I can get all of this. So you can just go back and forth. I can probably speed up this process because this is very boring. It's boring for me to do. I can't imagine how boring it is to watch. Oh my goodness. So you get the picture. You just kind of go around, get your guy all cleaned up. And for these tight places in here, lower your brush so you can get in these really tight places. So fortunately, I have already done this. So here he is when we're all done, and you'll want to go ahead and turn off that background, and then you can export this out to your clipboard as a PNG. So that's how we create this character image here, and now he's all set and ready to go for our main image. So now I'm going to create a new document, and we're going to go into 10 by 10 at 300 dpi. I'm going to bring in my first image, which is going to be an image that I did. I took my gel prints and I added a couple more gel prints and I ran it through Photodot, which is not an app that generates AI images. It uses mathematical algorithms to blend the images that you select. You can do all of that yourself. It just would take a long time, and Photodot actually just allows you to mix it up. So, I've got my aspect ratio on. I'm going to turn that off because I'm going to bring this out and up and down like this. I did have a question about that on my last video. Are those your images and AI and all of that? And yes, they are my images. All of these are my own images. No, Photodot is not an app that uses AI. There are apps out there that will create an image based on a description. That is AI. That's not what this is. So just want to make sure that I clear that up before going forward. Now this app, what I'm going to do with this image is I'm actually going to go under adjust and I'm going to invert it. And that gives me this nice, pull that up a bit, this nice rich color. And I'm also going to duplicate this layer because while I like the richness at the top, I want it at the bottom as well. So I'm going to transform this image and turn this one around. Put him down here. There we go. And now I'm going to use a gradient because I want to see the dark at the top and the dark at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and add a mask, reveal all. And then I'm going to choose my gradient tool, which is not up here because I don't use them very much. And this is the same platform that Art Studio Pro, the original version, has. So I'm going to hit this gradient, and over here you can see where it's dark to light. Dark is going to hide and light is going to reveal. So I want to start my arrow right here. And I'm going to reveal that. And that left this one alone down here. So you can even see your mask here. I am going to change this color though to white. I'm going to back up a step or two because I just noticed that that was actually a gray. I was like, why does that not look right? Now, there you have it. There. Now, so that's dark, both top and bottom, and that's what I want. So now I'm going to go ahead and bring in my garish one right here, this one. And what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to use a clipping mask. But first I'm going to desaturate this just a little bit because it's very bright. And I can just do this by dropping the saturation down. And maybe I could go up on the hue, just change the hue. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, so you can still tell it's blue, but it's not that garish blue that it was before. And now I'm going to go in and add the mask that I have for this, which is this one. And I think I'm going to go this way. I'm just going to drag this to fit or be pretty close to what I want here. And now I'm going to drop it underneath. I'm going to tap on this and choose clipping mask. And I actually need to transform this a little bit more, which you can do on top of the mask so that you get all of the mask like that. Hit the check box. And now, of course, I like for you to be able to see that these masks are present. So I always add a drop shadow to my clipping masks. And you do have to do that on the black layer right here. So, oops, what did I do there? Don't know, but we fixed it now. So the next thing we're going to do is add the figure image in the PNG that we created. I can grab him here. And yes, we're going to back up because I screwed this up. See, I needed to have this selected. There we go. So you just have to fix it. Make sure that you tap on the top layer before you add another image. That's what happened. I didn't do that. And I just had to check myself. Okay, so I may resize him a little bit. Transform him a little bit. I want him to line up there. Okie doke. So now what I am going to do is add a drop shadow to him. And do I want to change the parameters? Not on this layer. I might do it on the next, but not on this layer. Now, if you want to, you should duplicate this layer if you don't want to edit on this one, but I already have it saved, so I'm pretty comfortable working on this without duplicating the image. And what I want to do is this middle figure, the colors don't really match the rest of the image, so I am going to use the sponge, which is a desaturation tool, and he can be found up here in all of your tools here. And I'm just going to paint with this sponge right in here, and you can watch all of the color disappear. which I think is really, really great, because then we're going to add color on top of it. And I want his eyes to be a little darker and not yellow. Make some blue dark eyes. And once you're happy with what you've done here, make sure I get all of it. If I, nope, that's going to erase the thing. Okay. Now, I'm going to play around with some of the colors in here because I want this guy over here to be the more blue, and I want to add some of these darker tones in the background to this image. This one's okay. I might want to get a very large brush and desaturate it just a little bit. No, maybe not. Do I want to desaturate that? No, I think he's good. All right, so I'm going to add a new layer by going under the plus sign, and I'm going to choose a color in the background, and I'm going to choose like this. Is it going to let me choose a blue? Eyedropper tool. It wants me to use my pencil. That blue right there. And I'm going to paint. Let me pick a brush. I'm just going to pick one of the basic brushes here. And I'm going to drop my opacity just a little bit because I don't really know. Oh, this is going to really paint over him. And now, and I might do a little bit of this area here. But I'm going to put this in a blend mode, and you'll see what happens when I do that. Soft light. We're going to go with soft light. And I'm going to drop the opacity just a little bit. It just made him a little bluer, and it darkened this area in here a little bit. And now I want to play with another new layer because I'm going to go with a different color. And I'm going to pick this brown color up. And I'm going to do the same thing. Drop my size here. Right in here. And then I'm going to look for a blend mode for this one. Vivid light. Maybe vivid light for that one. And dropping the opacity. Okay, so now the figures more or less match what's going on here. And now I want to bring the figures forward, and I could do that by going into Procreate. I've done that before, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do it in this app and show you how you can do that. So I'm going to add yet another layer, and I'm going to pick a brush, and you can add brushes. Any brush that is a Art Studio Pro brush format or a Photoshop brush format, which I believe is .abr, but you can import Photoshop brushes into your into here, and I can show you how to do that. Going into here, add new brush or import. And you have all of your brushes located on your iCloud. That's where I put most of mine. And I have a folder for Photoshop brushes. Yes, right here. And so you can, let's put in some charcoal. And it'll download your brushes. And here's your group of brushes that you have. So you can play around with, you can add brushes, you can You can make your own brushes, but I don't really dabble in that. I find enough brushes on my own. I just don't want to do that. So I'm going to take one of these inker brushes. If you have Photoshop, you have access to brushes from their creative section, and you can download them if you pay for Photoshop every month, which I do, and I got a lot of my brushes from there. So anyway, I'm going to pick a outlining brush, and we're going to go down on the size a little bit, and I'm going to choose this dark blue. It wants me to do it with my pencil. Right here. And I'm just going to follow the line around here. It's just outlining. It's not rocket science. And I just do this so that I don't really need to do it everywhere. There we go. Make a mistake, you can undo. This is a little bit of an awkward angle because normally, you know, you can take your two fingers and spread this out, and you can play around with the different shapes and, you know, make this more comfortable for you to work with. And if you want to, you can take the smudge brush and smudge some of these. But another reason I do this is because selections aren't perfect. As you can see, I don't know if you can see right in here. And so I sometimes use the outlining to help disguise that a little bit. Up close, it doesn't look so good, but when you're standing back or when it's printed, it looks much better. And around his head, I can see where I didn't get a good selection. I will tell you all, I'm really hoping to continue weekly videos. I will be seeing my orthopedic doctor next week, or wait, no, the first week in June. And we're going to discuss our options. My MRI is done, and there's a bunch of stuff on there that I want to try some non-surgical things before we do surgery, but they are more in thinking that I may be headed that path. So I'm hoping that things will work out. So anyway, so now I want to go back and adjust the drop shadow. And to do that, I'm going to go under Edit Effects. I'll go down to my drop shadow, and I want to make it maybe 15 pixels distance, and my radius maybe 20. I just want to beef it up just a little bit. So this is the image. This is where I've come to the end here, and I like it. I think it looks pretty good for a gel print. And I used one gel print, and I used a gel print that I put in with all of the others that I created that day, and maybe just a couple others, and got these results. So I'm going to save this out. As a PNG. That is a new feature with this beta program. You have a lot more things that you can add to your top bar. There's a whole bunch more that you can add, including some things before, like quick export and export and things like that. And I've just put as a default export to the PNG file format, which is what I always do. So I do like this new beta version. We'll see if it has any bugs, and I'll keep you posted. Okay, so the image is done, but I like that edge program, the chromatic edges. and I want to take it into there. And I'm going to do a separate video on that as an app tutorial, because I think that would be good for y'all to know how to use that particular app. But here is one version I did with the edges, and here's another version I did with a more subdued color palette. I actually think I gravitate to this one more. And I forgot to tell you how I got these on there. Oh dear, we are not done. Okay, so since we're not done, I do want something over here and something over here. I just like to balance things and have a little bit more interest in there. So I am going to add this piece of Acrylic writing from a long time ago. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of all this white in here. And we're just going to go edit, cut. And as you can see, I missed a few, so I'm going to go back in and grab those real quick. All of them don't have to be selected. I think that's probably good enough. Select, deselect. I'm going to invert it, make it white. And I'm going to make it smaller too. I'm going to place it right over here. And I'm going to actually duplicate this layer because I'm going to put it on the other side. I'm going to turn that off for now. And then I'm going to put this in either overlay or soft light. Overlay. And I'm going to drop the opacity just a tiny bit. I'm going to turn this one on. I'm going to move him over. Oops, wrong one. Actually, it doesn't matter. I'll move that one over there. And now this one I will put in the overlay blend mode. Drop my opacity just a tiny bit. And if I want to, I can take my eraser and just kind of erase it off of the figure. So there, now this is finished. So the next video I'm going to post is going to be how to use chromatic edges. And I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope to see you in the next video. I will keep you up to date as to what the filming schedule is going to be. I do want to try to do more physical artwork, but honestly, I cannot stand for more than 20 minutes. So there are going to be just for the next couple months till they figure out what they want to do and how I can get back to Taekwondo and doing all the things that I was doing before. So that's my goal for the next couple months, and so I'll keep you updated. I love doing these videos and I want to continue them, and I want to do more physical art. I also do polymer clay, as you can see from these figures, and I work with encaustic wax as well. And I do want to incorporate all of that on the channel. So if there's anything you want to see, let me know, and I will see you next week. I hope you all have a good one. Bye.